Hey, good day. This is Robert Brown with When You Matters, where the union matters to you and you matters to your union, and together we can make great things happen. And hey, today is April the 18th. Tomorrow is Election Day. Want to make sure you get everybody out to Holiday Inn over there across the street from from GCS. And get your vote in. Don't let nobody get away without voting. Everybody vote is going to count. First of all, I want to talk to you. I turned this phrase in the political world right now, and I trademarked it. And it's called slut voting. You'll probably hear it in the news and everything. And you probably say, what is the slut vote? A slut vote is when you just go and vote. You know how people go into the voting booth and they just vote straight D's or straight R's, no mixture of the two or none of that. They just, I'm a Democrat, I'm voting for all Democrats. And you don't know the people that you're voting for. You just vote for them because they got a D on them. Or I'm voting all Republicans. And you don't know what they stand for, but you're going to vote for them just because they're Republican. That's like saying I'm going to marry her because she's because of a religious affiliation, but you never spend no time with her to see if the religious affiliation backs up her attitude, back up her religious affiliation. So that's what I mean by slut voting. No conscience, no character. You just giving up the vote because you want to give up the vote. No relationship with the person that you're voting for. Don't know them from a hill of beans, and don't want to take the time to get to know them. The reason I did the UMatters video series where I interviewed them is because I don't want anybody to be that type of voter. To me, that type of voting hurt and harmed the country. You got to get to know the person that you're voting for. A one-night stand with the person that you're voting for is not good long-term. It's only good short-term. And in the situation of voting in people for a union office, it's long-term. Predicated is not like running for office as a president or something like that. But it is if the people don't like you, they can vote you in, they can vote you out. So I don't want anybody going into any voting booth, period, in America without getting to know the person that they're voting for, the good and the bad. Don't assume that there's no good part. Don't assume that there's no bad part. We're not human. We have good and bad in all of us. It's just who is running the most, who is overtaking, who is overshadowing it. Is the good guy or the bad guy in you? All of us got this Star Wars Anakin Walker, Darth Vader thing going on. And I can go into teaching on that. I'm not going to do that. But you want to vote for the person who has your best interest at heart, has more character, have a strong heart for fighting for your rights. And I'm going to talk about that today, since this is the last Union Matters before the election, because the elections are tomorrow. First of all, no excuse for not going. The time frame is going to be there for you to go out and vote. I'm going to hang around to 12 o'clock if anybody need me for anything. 12 o'clock, wow. Brother got to get some sleep. These things are important when you're voting, and that's the reason why I had the You Matter voting series. You got to know who the person is. You have to know what they done past, present, and what they plan on doing in the future with the union. You got to ask them about their level of union activism. In other words, what have you done within the union? What have you done? Your experience is important. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the time out and briefly talk about each person that's running for office, because I know all of them in one shape, form, or fashion. People ask me why did I decide not to run. It's because I got too many other stuff to do. And plus, to tell you the truth, honestly speaking, I don't want to try to fix something that's not broke. and I'm going to go into that myself right now. First, we're going to talk about the two people that's running for chair, Sandra Lennon and Judy Myers. I mean, not Judy Myers, but Patricia Edwards. I had the pleasure of working with both of these individuals on the union negotiation team. Both of them, too, work like well-oiled machine. I remember one time I was coming out of Holland Hospital and I saw TW Van, wanted to complimented on him. I said, I heard they're trying to get you guys to come over to GCS. He said, yeah, I talked to Sandra Lennon, and she talked to us about getting voting cards in to get the union in. And I said, yeah, because some of my co-workers on my floor was talking about doing that, too. But she already did it. That's great. So in my book, that solidifies the fact that Miss Sandra Lennon was responsible for getting the cards in for us to sign for the union. Now, I vouch for Pat Edwards because going forward from there, she has been instrumental in assisting in those areas. Matter of fact, both of them were let go, and they'll tell you why they were let go. You ask them, why were you let go? What was the initial excuse for them letting you go? And then, but why did they really let you go? Because from what I know, they was let go really because of union activity, being a part of the union. But there is another reason why initially they was let go from the job. So you got to ask them about what's the real reason, what's the reason why you were let go, the corporate reason why you were let go, and what's the reason you believe you were let go. Because both of them was heavily involved in the union. Both of them were working together side by side as a team, with Miss Sandra leading the team. Miss Edwards was good at making sure that workers that end up losing their job, find a way to get a job. So they work together as well on machine. At the negotiation table, man, there's fierce. Miss Lennon was fierce. I mean, the whole negotiation team were a bunch of fighters. They fought for you. It wasn't easy. I had the pleasure to be on that team. It wasn't easy. Trying to hear reasons why we shouldn't take care of the workers. Because I believe if you take care of the workers take care of you, and we'll together take care of the client. And we all happy, making money. We have this good relationship going. Initially, I wasn't even part of that team. I mean, hats off to Gerald Montgomery and Estimato, who no longer there, who convinced me to be on the negotiation team. Gerald moved on to bigger heights. Esther's in Las Vegas, living a good life. And but I want to thank you two for asking me to be a part of the team. And I know you guys, it was time for you to go to the next level, but I need to stay in this thing and see this thing through on behalf of the workers there. And on behalf of the company, because I want the company to make sure they keep good, long-standing, stellar workers, and in that, it comes to the point that both these women have a level of union activity. And, I mean, you ask around, they're known. Mama has been known to all the political figures in Albany. She's spoken at different events with the union, and the entire TWU call her Mama. So that's a level of respect that he had. Pat is fierce in an administrative area. She did a lot of work administratively for Frank McCann and doing the documents, the paperwork, and the whole 9 yards. So they worked as well on machine. So both of them are I vouch for, and that they're qualified to run for these offices. But one of the things I do want you to know, take time out to get to know them personally, ask questions, and got to. That's all I got to say. You got to, in order to make sure you're voting for the right person, okay? Second, well, I wouldn't say the right person, but the person that you think should have that office. Secondly, Judy Myers and Christian Smith. Now, I've known Mr. Smith ever since he started, and good man, good heart, very strong man of faith, and and he believes that he could be a real strong instrumental impact to building the workers at GCS. I had the pleasure of interviewing him. He said, "Hey, I'm being prepared for this. I understand that it's not an easy task. It's not an easy job fighting for the workers, but you got to have it in your blood. You got to have it in your veins in order to do that." And that's why I say Miss Pat, definitely Ma, got in their blood to fight for the workers. But it boils down to me on representing the workers well, and who's best at that. So Christian Smith is a great guy, and I sat there and I heard some of the things that he wanted to do with the union, and I said, good stuff. And Judy Myers. I've had the pleasure of working with her on the negotiation team. Fierce fighter, advocate at the marches, at the events, at the speeches, at the rallies, on behalf of the workers at GCS and TWU. Never really miss an event. And currently, right now, between Miss Lennon, who is actually taking time out of a busy schedule to work at the union office on a voluntary basis, Miss Judy is there on the job as the interim co-chair on the job, and Miss Sandra Lennon is the interim chair at TWU. And they're back and forth fighting for your jobs, introducing new workers to the union, and they're doing their thing. And a lot of reasons why a lot of people still have their jobs is because of them. Not taking nothing away from Miss Pat. Miss Pat is on the floor, fighting for you, organizing for you. She is a shop steward. But I've seen Judy Myers in the boardroom and with the company leadership fighting for the rights of the workers. And I've seen Sandra Lennon there at the union hall fighting for the rights of the workers. And I've seen Miss Pat on the floor fighting for the rights of the workers. And but yet Christian Smith has decided to get into the game and do that. Win, lose, or draw, he's decided that he's going to start taking a bolder stand with the union and doing a massive part in playing at the membership of TWU and GCS. Now the people who are running for office as a recording secretary. Now, I know both of them. I don't know too much about Nina. I've worked with her. She's a very nice lady, very kind-hearted, tender-hearted, love people, have a heart for people. Very open. She asks questions. She's she's a sponge. She is a learner. And that can go a long way on in this endeavor for a recording secretary. And I don't know her past. I haven't had the time to interview her for some reason. I wanted to know some of the things about her, and I want you to know some things about her, pros and cons of this position. Now, Joanna Jenkins, on the other hand, another staunch fighter for your rights ever since day one, on the negotiation committee team, always in the face of the corporate office, fighting for your rights without trying to trample on theirs. And she's a staunch researcher. I mean, she found out things that most of us was like, wow, this is what's really going on behind the scenes. She is an investigator. She is a reporter. She is a, she could have been a journalist in another life, she could have been out there with Whoop Blitzer and all them guys, because she know her stuff, and she want to make sure she know what she talking about, as she said in the interview. So another woman who's at every union event, at every march, at every Fight for 15 campaign, healthcare campaign, you think about it, she's been there, traveling from state to state on her off time and things like that. So she knows what it's like to be in a union. Now, I said that because I had to just get it out there that you got some people who's been fighting the fight for. I want you to see the level of fight that they've been marching and fighting and pushing and getting in the face of politicians. I mean, that's why everybody got to go to lobby day. Everybody who has time off from work has to be at lobby day, because lobby day is you lobbying politicians for you and your coworkers. There's different laws that's being passed right now that's going to aid and assist you in being comfortable as a New York City worker. And you have to be there to represent yourself. Sure, I'm going to be there to represent TW, but you got to be there to represent yourself. It's free. There's going to be buses in every borough. I don't know about Staten Island, but there's going to be buses in every borough. Get with go online and download the flyer and explain that. There's food and everything on the bus. Of course, you want to bring your own food. I mean, everybody's potato salad don't taste like your mama's, so bring your own food. But yeah, there's gonna be food, drink. You go lobby. You meet tens of thousands of TW workers there in Albany, and we all go on to Capitol Hill to different offices of senators and talk to them about fighting for us. They even come back and grace the stage and tell us what they plan on doing on behalf of TWU. So you got to be there. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. And when you see people taking time out of their busy schedule, their off days to go to these different events, that's a person who has a high level of union activism. And that's the person that's willing to lay it all down on the line for you. They're not saying all the other ones don't do that, but this is evidence that they do. While they could be sleeping in their bed, while they could be going to the next doctor's office, while they could be taking their kids out of school to go to the museum, they're deciding to take time off to go to lobby day for you. But everybody needs to be taking time off for lobby day that's not working. Keyword, that's not working. That's not scheduled work. If you're not scheduled work, you should be at lobby day. If you got a vacation time, I mean, it's up to you, but you should be at lobby day. That's what we call high level of union activism. And most of the people that I've talked to have that high level of union activism. Been a majority of every union event, whether it's at Union Hall or whether it's in another state for the Fight for 15, they've taken time out of their busy schedule to be there. And that's why I say people need to get to know who they're voting for and ask questions. You know, how long you been doing this? You know, what is your level of union activism? I mean, are you participating in the committees and marches and things like that? What is your fight for us? Because I need to know that. I need to know, have you had that in the past, present, and future? So I'm not going to be long. I just wanted to talk about that. Tomorrow is voting day. Get everybody out. But make sure that you're voting for somebody who has the grits, the boldness, the integrity, sternness, who does not have a weak spine, who know this stuff, who's like a well-oiled machine when it comes to these things. I'm a little rusted up, so that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't run. No more slut voting. Again, I told you that's the term I phrase. Voting without conscience. Don't know your politician. Don't know who you really voting for. You're voting for them just because they got a DRR under their name. No, you're voting for people because of a name. No, you better vote because of a person's record, not their name. Their record horrible. I don't care what kind of name they got. They ain't getting my vote. So please get out there and look. It's not your fault if they don't have a record. It's their fault. It's their fault. You got to develop your own union activisms. And anyway, I'm Robert Bob TV Brown. I'm done, son. Get out to vote. And no, you do not need to have a membership card, union membership card to vote. All you need is your ID from GCS. If you got your ID from GCS and your membership card, that's even better. And if you don't have a membership card, get with Judy Meyer, who is right now the interim co-chair, and Sandra Lennon, who is the chair. They've been fighting for you since we got ratified, and get with them so they can get Nancy and the people at TW to print your membership card up. So I'm Bob TV, and by this time we're going to have some brand new winners of offices at TWU and GCS. I will get an opportunity to interview them, maybe this time just by phone, and let you listen to them, me trying to catch up with them and all that. Oh, man, that was tough. And I'm trying to make time out of my busy schedule and to interview these people for you so you can get to know them so you can vote with conscience. And, man, it was tough getting some of these people on camera. But, hey, next time it's just going to be a phone interview, and you'll be able to hear it right here in the comforts of mi casa. Ain't going nowhere. Anyway, I love you guys. Remember, you matters. Your union matters. And together, you guys make a dominant force. And we got to make sure that we're getting everybody involved. We don't want nobody seeing any weak. We don't want no weak links in this thing. We want to strengthen everybody. So, all right. Robert Bob TV Brown. Talk to you soon. Like, share, comment, pass it along, whatever. And I'll talk to you soon.